Good afternoon. My name is Scott Rudd, the Chief Strategic Officer at T3Live.com. Welcome to today's recap and look ahead.
观众朋友们，大家好，欢迎收看今天的直击美股，我是主持人张舒，在纽约向您问好。周三美股收高，我们看到现在市场依然是在一个非常紧凑的区间内交易，而当前标准普尔是跌破了8日均线，但是守住了21日均线，就像我们之前所看到的是一样的。而今天影响市场的重要的因素就是美联储7月份的会议纪要，而这份会议纪要是暗示美联储会否在9月加息一个非常重要的线索。而根据我们所看到的会议纪要显示，当前美联储的官员对于加息明显有一些分歧，有一部分官员认为现在美国已经准备好要加息了，但是另外一部分也是更多的一部分官员，他们认为当前依然需要更多的经济数据来证明加息的合适性。所以说到目前为止，市场认为美联储9月份加息的概率只有12%，在此会议之前认为是有18%。好的，更多的消息让我们来看一下今天的交易员访谈。Hi, Scott. Your stocks traded higher today, and I think the investors digested the release of the Fed minutes. And today, the S&P hold the 21-day moving average, but still break the 8-day moving average. So, how do you think about the overall condition?
Oh, it's good. If you break the 8-day moving average, you test a 21, and this is the second time it's happened post-Brexit. So, if you look at the chart, and if you look at the chart I posted on Twitter today, it pretty much explained the entire roadmap. First of all, this is when the market broke out and reclaimed the 8 and 21 day. And this was right around below 2100. You had your first initial move, it got choppy. Then remember here, it broke the 8 day. If you sold it when it broke the 8 day, you could have been a buyer back at the 21 day. 20 handles lower. Then it made new highs, made another new high, and then what happened during this move? Broke the 8-day moving average and this trend, and what did it do? Held the 21 day. So at this point, I'm not saying it's going to all of a sudden be back above 2100 soon, but at least if you're maneuvering actively, you have a roadmap. And this trend from this little break right here is still intact. And until this breaks, I would say try and be constructive on the overall tape because there's still a lot of movement and a lot to do.
Well, the market is traded at a very tight range with light volume, but we see there were some tech sector names that are waking up, like the Google, the Amazon, the Netflix, the Facebook, something like that. So how do you think about these stocks?
Well, if you're precise and you wait patiently, like if you waited till the 21-day moving average, on most of these high beta tech names that broke the 8-day, okay, you could have got a good entry today for a day trade and maybe even a little bit more. What am I talking about? Look at Facebook real quickly. Facebook, you know what? Yesterday tried to hold the 21-day and held it by a smidgen and then did it again and gave you a nice little day. And it closed above a prior high, so who knows? Maybe that puts it back on the map to continue to the upside. But overall, this trend above the 21-day has been strong. Okay, not a crazy action, but you break the 8-day, there's a 21-day. If this were to break, it could have been a little worse. Google actually also reversed today. Didn't actually make it to the 21-day, so it's still showing a little bit more strength, but hung in there. And then I know I've been talking about Netflix. It's been, out of play, but it woke up a little bit today and still in this tight range, and traders like to gravitate towards tight ranges because when tight ranges break, you can get a big time short squeeze. And this is very tight, and I'm long Facebook, I'm long this Netflix, and I think maybe Netflix could break above this soon. So if it does it on volume, I'll be there. If it fails again, I'll be out. So it looks decent.
Okay, and in your note, you mentioned that the rotation among different sectors is pushing our market higher, and this week the money seems to go to the financials and the bank names. So is there any good setups there?
Yeah, I think it's okay. It would have been better earlier in the week. I hate to chase the financials, but it's good to see that financials made new weekly highs, led by Morgan Stanley. A big activist came into Morgan Stanley. What I think is important here, Morgan Stanley took out the 200-day extended. It might be able to go a little bit more. You look at something like JP Morgan. Let's see what this is doing. Not a heck of a lot, but maybe this JP Morgan has a decent setup where it gets a push above this prior resistance, and that could be a good trade. So maybe be long some versus this, and it gets a little bit of power. BAC also doesn't look great, but looks as if, if it were to clear this spot, which has a big time resistance, and the Fed really raises rates, with slow and steady, you could see 1650 here. And remember we talked about oil, Annabelle? Well, oil to me and the XLE looks really good. Here is your red dog reversal when everyone was upset about it. And now it's coming right into this channel where if the XLE continues, that's going to help the overall market. And in my opinion, I think the XLE, still has some room. It was well below the 200-day, which is your stay away. Got above it, stayed above it, accumulated, and now it looks like it could have some traction.
Okay, it seems like we're out of time.
Yes, we're always out of time.
Yeah.
That's why you got to make sure you tune in into the morning. You could read my note in the morning. I go over 20, 25 names, different sectors. Actually, even in the morning when it's even closer to the open with the futures and whatnot. But at this point, I think you could still be constructive. It was important that the 21-day held. Stocks are still on the move. And just look for your setup and be a bit more precise. And I think that you can continue to make some money.
就像您所看到的一样，现在市场呢是在一个非常紧凑的区间内交易，并且呢流量也是非常的清淡。因此，如果您关注我们的节目的话，您会更多的知道机会在哪里。感谢您的收看，我们明天再见。